Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Darksage Walker, and I accidentally jolted the control stick. What happened there? Well, anyway, there you go. You get to see some alternate title screens now. There you go. Not all of them have the exact same style of have the entirely exact same style of artwork. I like this one the most because it showcases everybody. There's the two wizards that you play as, at least as they first appear, with the red and the blue robes. Then you got Atlas, you got Freya, you got Zeal, you got Shu, you got the twins, and some cheap imitation of Master Sewer at the top. But that's not what we're here for today. What we're here for today is for Wizard of Metal, and the only song that got any votes, and the form that the wizard will be taking today, is that of Sad by True by The Who. And for what it's worth, I probably will still be at some point or another be doing Sad But True by Metallica proper. But I wanted to talk about The Who a little bit more just because they are kind of a hot thing right now. That having been said, the song retains the same meaning, so I'll be talking about the song as per how it was written for and by Metallica. First of all, it's just easier that way for me. I mean, I read and speak Mongolian about as well as I do Klingon or Wookiee, so that should hopefully help clear up anything in that nature. But we'll get to that when we get to the lyrics section of the song. Obviously, Sad But True is a show-enough tried and true Metallica classic, and The Who wanted to do their own version of it. So we'll real quick talk about the run. So I've decided to do another version of the Phantom run, except for instead of using the Chaotic Order, or Phantom Order, I'm using Chaotic Echoes. I feel that best exemplifies the sort of meaning of the song, where, Sad But True seems to be talking heavily about what is implied to be just a take on, well, we'll get to that when we get there. I don't want to. Oh, come on, idiots, can't you keep up with me? Oh, you bastards. You can't do nothing! Alright. So we've already talked about the Who maybe not at super great lengths, but as has been stated before, they are a Mongolian folk band, and even that's not entirely giving them enough justice, but that is probably the easiest way to put it. They're a Mongolian folk band who decided they wanted to do metal. And their brand of metal is done using, I believe it's called the old Hunnu art of Mongolian throat singing, along with some traditional Mongolian folk instruments. And the resulting sound is really nice. I really like how they sound. They do such a good job. It's just fucking incredible. I love those guys so much. Okay, I definitely like the idea of the dragon arc. And some other examples of songs that they've done in case you guys don't know and want to go look them up or need some reminders. They've done, I think the song that a lot of people know is Ube Ube You. They've also done a song called Wolf Totem, which I actually covered here on Wizard of Metal. Let's see. The name of their album is The Garrig, so if you want to go check that out. I purchased the deluxe version of it, and I'm very glad that I did. Like, I just genuinely have very few bad things to say about them, and it's not always what I'm in the mood to listen to, but I'll be damned if more often than not it really just speaks to me. And their cover of Metallica's Sad But True is no exception. Even then, the song is done in their style. They make it their own. And it's very clearly a cover. It's using the same melody and a lot of the same chords and, you know, time signatures. But it's done using their own signature style of Hunnu Mongolian throat singing and using their traditional instruments, and oh, it's so good. It's so good. I have a link to the song in my Discord server, again under Wizard of Metal, so if you want to hear that song, go check it, just go listen to it, it's so good. And for what it's worth, yes, I did start with the Sidewinders badge. I figure since each Phantom scores 3 hits in and of itself, those secondary sub-hits would do a world of good. Now, to quote the Who themselves, let's go find. So this is taken from an interview done on loudwire.com, but this is on multiple websites. Let's see. See, according to the Who themselves, so this is not me putting words into their mouth, Metallica has been a huge influence and inspiration for us as music fans and musicians. We admire their 40 years of relentless touring and the timeless, unique music they have created. It is a great honor to show them our respect and gratitude by recording a version of Sad But True in our language and in the style of the Who. So this is very much their passion project, and it shows. Like, the music video is beautiful and haunting, as it seems to show the progression of someone throughout age, seemingly starting by searching for treasure, and that might not be entirely correct, but that seems to be the idea that's... Oh, I gotta slap the crap out of this guy first. Woohoo! Woo-hoo-hoo! So it shows the progression of seemingly someone searching for gold, as they progress through youth into the middle age of their life, and eventually into that of being an old decrepit man. And the video itself is crazy looking. It's so haunting, and it's just good stuff. Now, I watched a little bit of, I watched the video on the making of that video as well, and they definitely went through a lot to make that video. Like, the recording sessions for that video were like 12 to 13 hours long, and you could tell that they were really putting a lot of effort in. But also, in and amongst all of it, the big thing that you could see is that they were definitely having fun with it. I suppose that, to me, is one of the most important things, because if you're not enjoying what you're doing, then fucking why are you doing it? go. Game is really digging the idea of fire right now. Like, this is kind of nuts. We are definitely taking this. Okay. I think I see where I'm going. Well, that did me some good. Sure glad I went that way. So, as I said, the song in and of itself is done using the same musical structure. It's the same melody, technically the same lyrics, but of course with some differences. Like, it's... And it's absolutely an amazing song, and I think it sounds so good to hear them doing it. Not really interested in homing flares. Or fire seekers for that matter, but whatever. I'll grab that. And yes, this run seems to be quite strong. I'm enjoying it. The idea behind the run is that there is almost like, you know, you being just a shadow of something else, seemingly. And that's... I couldn't really think of any better way to exemplify sad but true, and I'll get into it in just a bit when I start talking about the lyrics now. Oh, that was a bad dodge on my behalf. Alright. Game really wants me to take fire elemental stuff. Are you going to be that generous with wind elemental arcana here? Come on, go away. So, I suppose this would be a good time to start talking about the lyrics of the song now. This is a very classic song. Any of you who are familiar with the Black Album should know this song pretty well. It was even sampled by Kid Rock for his song American Badass, which, you know, maybe a little delusional, but... Here we go. Now I would like... Let's see, where is the lyrics site that I was using for this? Because I think they have the right lyrics. Interestingly enough, when they first recorded "Sad but True," they were essentially playing the parts on the guitars, tunes to, I believe, what was E minor, and when Bob Rock suggested that they tune their guitars to a D tune, oh, that really brought things together, apparently. And you can tell Sad But True is one of the most recognizable songs on the Black Album, and it's translated into being one of the best one of the most interesting songs that The Who has decided to do as well. So, we're going to start going over the lyrics now, and as I've explained many times, but will continue explaining for those who are new to the process, I purposefully go over the lyrics in a very kind of deadpan spoken word format, because I want you to be able to essentially take your own meaning to the lyrics, but I will also explain what I feel the meanings of the songs are as well. Yeah, I'm going to take Tectonic Drill. As much as I like Radiant Knockout, it's not going to be very effective against either of the enemies I'm going up against next, so best to grab something that will be at least effective against one of them. Also, I'm noticing Flame Seekers are kinda lame. Alright, so I think I've delayed enough while I've been clearing rooms. So let's start with the first part of the verse, or the part where I remember how to speak English. So, starting with the first verse. Hey, I'm your life, I'm the one who takes you there. Hey, I'm your life, I'm the one who cares. So this to me is stating that there's someone or something essentially inside of you that's saying, hey, this is me talking. Listen, I care about you. So the first thing that I get immediately is, religious references. Moving on. They betray, I'm your only true friend now. They'll betray, I'm forever there. Again, very much makes it sound like a religious thing. Now, the beautiful thing about this song, and some of you may not see it this way, but I certainly do, is that there's multiple different interpretations of the lyrics. And I think that's the mark of good art, when it's not just a complete cut and dry, there is only one answer. No, good art is something that can be discussed and interpreted. Like, one of the things that I think makes for, or at least made for, considering how dead comedy is to our world right now, really interesting is that so many comedians, like, they weren't necessarily being controversial for controversy's sake. It was, for a lot of comedians, it was their way of commenting on the follies of society and a lot of things, frankly, while still being able to get it across in a very interesting manner. Comedy was just their way to tell what they felt were universal truths. And yes, I know I'm talking about comedy as if it were a dead art form. It's not dead, it's just very much floundering right now, thanks to essentially an overzealous politically correct audience, or society in general, but that's a topic for another time. I just wanted to get across that true art is one of those things that doesn't necessarily have a super easily defined one-note answer. So, moving on. This is the chorus. I'm your dream, make you real. I'm your eyes when you must steal. I'm your pain when you can't feel. Sad but true. I'm your dream, mind astray. I'm your eyes while you're away. I'm your pain while you repay. you know it's sad but true. And then the line "sad but true" repeats one more time. So this could, and again, some of the other interpretations are, now I read this as, this is like a religious context or a religious connotation, but there's also something saying that a lot like Master of Puppets, this could be something about alcoholism or the nature of addiction, because it's well known that Metallica were pretty heavy drinkers, and there's a reason why there was a nickname going around for them that called them alcoholics. And now that you know that, you can never unhear it. So it could very well be that there is a little bit of self-commentary there, but I like to think that that's already what Master of Puppets was, and this is their take on a new topic. Or it could be another song about addiction. But again, it's the beautiful part of art. There is no 100% right or wrong answer. It's like, what is your interpretation? What do you feel about this? Express yourself. That's art. Moving on to the second verse. You're my mask, you're my cover, my shelter. You're my mask, you're the one who's blamed. Now, again, if you're looking at this from a religious context, that could very easily be like, God himself saying, no one's going to blame me for any of this, this is all on you. They're all going to blame you for it, because you're the one that they see. I'm the one who just gets all the credit for the good shit. You have to deal with the bad. Okay, so now we actually have a very interesting choice to make, and it's not really a choice, I'm just going to go for it. But I am going to go ahead and give you the tectonic drill, and we're going to see if you give us anything really interesting. Because I would very much like to replace the stupid... We're going to take that. Then Fire Breath, Ignition Drive. I'll take Ignition Drive. And actually, I think I will pick up the Tectonic Drill over the... over the Ignition Drive. I like Ignition Drive, don't get me wrong. I just have a better idea of what I'm going for than that. We're gonna take that, and then I'll probably come back for the cotton candy later. Oh, hey, I made a mistake. Alright, so there we go. Alright, sorry, I got derailed again. Moving on to the next part of the second verse. I can't talk today. Do my work, do my dirty work, scapegoat. Do my deeds, for you're the one who's shamed. By the way, another part about the lyrics. Have you noticed that at first they were really friendly and saying, hey, don't worry about that. I'm the one who cares. I'm your life. I'm the one who takes care of you. Now in this second verse, it sounds much more callous, much more sort of, I'm going to be using you, there's nothing you can do about it. So now we go into the chorus again, which for those who don't remember, or for those who weren't paying attention, I'm your dream, make you real. I'm your eyes when you must steal. I'm your pain when you can't feel. Sad but true. I'm your dream, mind astray. I'm your eyes while you're away. I'm your pain while you repay. You know it's sad but true. And then the kind of refrain in the middle of everything says, I'm your dream, I'm your eyes, I'm your pain. So basically just kind of a reaffirming of what's already been said. Oh, come back here. Alright, now this is all going to come together in the third verse of the song. And yeah, that's that pattern that we noticed of the lyrics becoming progressively more unfriendly. Oh yeah. Third verse. Hate. I'm your hate. I'm your hate when you want love. Pay. Pay the price. Pay for nothing's fair. Hey, I'm your life. I'm the one who took you there. Hey, I'm your life, and I no longer care. So, you thought the lyrics were dark, were kind of dark and unfriendly in the second verse. The third verse just flat out says, yeah, I don't give a shit about you. You're just a tool to me in the first place. And if I were to, and looking at that from the kind of religious subtext that I had originally started thinking about this from in the first place, it once again emphasizes this sort of idea of I made it stupid there. But it once again re-emphasizes that idea of the God that you're all worshipping is not only a part of you, but more than likely he doesn't give a shit anyway. And that is one of the big meanings that a lot of people seem to have found for this song, is that it's an allegory for VIP membership. Oh, interesting. I wasn't aware the supply crate was a part of that. And I definitely want that. Okay, so VIP membership is the Relic Rewards card, the Supply Crate, the Arcana Rewards card. What are the other two items in it, I wonder? Who knows? That's half the fun. I'm sure someone's already figured it out, but I'm gonna guess that it's Wallet of Vigor and Wallet of whatever the first one is. That's right, son, we dole out beatings with mighty efficiency. And yeah, I do kind of want the cotton candy. Alright, now at this point, the chorus actually changes. So the first part is going to sound familiar. I'm your dream, make you real. I'm your eyes when you must steal. I'm your pain when you can't feel. Sad but true. But at the end of the song, this part changes. I'm your truth, telling lies. I'm your reason, alibis. I'm inside, open your eyes, I'm you. And that's the part that I think strikes a lot of people, because the devoutly religious will say that, oh, this is God's will, thy will be done, and things like that. Little realizing that more often than not, the God that they're referring to is just themselves. Now, I know a good number of people that probably would disagree with me about that, and if you guys disagree, like I said, that is perfectly fine. That is only one interpretation of the song. There's all sorts of different interpretations of it. there is no 100% right answer, and that's what makes art great. But to me, the religious interpretation of, you know, God speaking from within you, which, by the way, let's be real here, the name of the Christian God is Jehovah. But that to me is a very powerful meaning for the song. It speaks a lot to, I mean, to be fair, it is a, I would be lying if I said there wasn't like even just the littlest bit of confirmation bias in that, since I'm not exactly what one would call strongly religious, and hopefully that's not anything that's super offensive to a lot of you. I know for some people that can be a deal breaker. It's like, oh my god, you don't believe? Then I must shun you from society. Like I said, that's just my take on it, but it's... And I've already stated this many times now, but it bears repeating. The mark of good art is that it is something that makes you think. It is something that doesn't just have one answer. It's something that can be interpreted. And I think that's what the Who were saying by the inequity of Metallica's songs and the lyrics, is that it is something that has a great amount of interpretation. Oh, it's dead. Hey, could you maybe not interrupt my casting, you bitch? So that is sad but true, and again, I think the way that the Who did it with their Hunnu style of music, the throat singing, and the classical Mongolian instrumentation, alongside the like heavy guitars and bass, and their obvious percussion, because you don't really have much of a band without percussion. Oh, pardon me. Like, it all comes together in this beautiful, just kind of symphony of sound. It's a delight for the ears, and like I said, I think everyone should go check that shit out. And yes, we're going to be taking that in place of the dragons. And I'll have to go back at the end of the floor to see if there's a relic that I want. Ah, I screwed up. Now, something I want to check. This doesn't count as anything, that's a shame. I was thinking maybe the Phantom Guild, or whatever it's called, Phantom somebody? It is Guild in this case. I was wondering if that counted as a summon, and if you could summon more summoners, who would in turn summon more of those little Chaos Orbs, and we have ourselves a little Chaos Orb bonanza. I missed. Okay. I don't have a lot of time to build up Chaos Gems for it, but it's still gonna take it. Beautiful. Alright, so now let's go back here. So I only have one cursed relic, so this would be kind of silly to take right now. But I do think, especially since I'm now just a shadow wearing a raccoon mask. I mean, come on, that's pretty cute. Search your feelings, you know it to be true. Now, something fun about the Who that I didn't realize, and of course we are still talking about the Mongolian folk metal band, not, you know, the band, not the American band. For those of you who, for some reason, checked out for a little while and then came back and said, oh, they're talking about the Who. No, not that Who. Is that they became a worldwide sensation super fast. And to the point where other folks from the music industry popped in to help them make remixes of their songs. Such as there's a version of Yuve Yuve You featuring Hi, how are you? I would rather prefer it if my phone wasn't going off right now. And I'm pretty sure I muted that bitch, but oh well. Once again, you all know my ringtone now. You can either be proud of me or embarrassed that you know me as a human being. But yeah, even like people like Jacoby Shaddix of Papa Roach have helped them remix Yuve Yuve You as an example. And that's what I had started to say before my phone decided it wanted to interject with an opinion of its own, you fucker. But actually, let's look that up, because I downloaded the... When I say downloaded, I mean I did purchase it, but I got the deluxe version of the Garrick, and I can tell you what some of the interesting ones are at the end. Oh, never mind, it was Wolf Totem. It was Wolf Totem that Jacoby Shaddix helped them out with. Yuve Yuve You was... Hold on, I gotta actually look up the song information. That was done with assistance from Ashes to New, so hopefully you guys know who that is. The song Sound of Women was done featuring Lizzie Hale, and that is a remixed version alongside their normal version. And then they have 2 acoustic songs on there as well, so people just fell in love with these guys, and can you blame them? The band is really good at what they do, and they're really passionate about the work. And I think that's what everyone really fell in love with, the idea that they're just so passionate about things. They're having a lot of fun. They really enjoy what they're doing. Like, it's pretty well known in the music industry nowadays that if you want to make a lot of money, you do either pop or rap, because that's what most people, at least in my country, seem to identify with. But when you're doing metal, you're more or less doing it for the art. And there are some cheap ways to become popular as a metal artist. But metal isn't necessarily where the money is. But I think it's fair to say that for a lot of folks, that's where the heart is. Oh. I picked up too many relics. Hello, what do we have here? So, seeing as I don't really need... Get rid of this. I'm going to take the Golden Saber of Envy. Which more or less puts everything back to semi-normal price, but not entirely. I'm going to see if I can't afford it, or see if I can afford the... smooth. Like, it's kind of unlikely, but I'm gonna see if I can't afford the Wanderer's Mechanism before the end of this floor. I'm not gonna be too upset if I can't, though. The run is still turning out pretty good. I think next time I look at the Who, I'm going to actually look up like the names of their instruments. See if I can't learn a little bit more about what instruments it is they're playing. With one of the instruments that they're playing looks like a crazy like long and slender version of a cello. If one of you guys knows what that's called, let me know. I think everything else is pretty self-explanatory, but I could be wrong about that. Like, maybe it's not a guitar that they're playing? No, it would seem weird if it wasn't. I don't really care about that. And yeah, couldn't afford it. Not a surprise. Moving on. So you all know what I think of the Who's version of Sad But True. But now, what are my thoughts on the Metallica original? Well, I mean, it's a show enough classic. Of course I love it. I mean, to be fair, the idea behind the Black Album is that it was designed to be a little bit more mainstream so that they could break into a more profitable market. I get that, and some people may have, beef with Metallica for that, but I mean, if you're trying to be successful, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. But do I also understand why people would be a little bit upset about that, especially considering what I just said, with the idea that metal is more about the art than necessarily about profit? Yeah, I get why people would be upset about that, but at the same time, I also don't begrudge them trying to go for success. They had found an audience and they're just striking while the iron is hot. So I guess you could say I'm a little bit torn on the whole thing. Like, I don't think it's fair to want to, like, persecute and blame them for wanting to find success, but I also understand that maybe isn't necessarily the chief top priority that you should be going for when you're trying to create art. But, again, we're splitting hairs at this point, I think. Or maybe not splitting hairs, I don't think that's the right simile. Oh my goodness, Dice of the Nemesis. The Darby of the Boobadarb. Ow. And there we go. Sad but True is victorious. Oh, yes. And that about wraps things up for Wizard of Metal for this week. So thank you everyone for watching and continuing to support. And I know that it might be a little infuriating if you don't listen to metal to have every week's episode be focused solely on that one form of music. But that is one of those things that I have explained, but if you want to ask questions, by all means, leave a comment in the comments section, or come on down to either my social media or my Discord, links of which will be in the description below, and we can have a conversation about it. I have no problem explaining my position, and I already have a couple of times, but I'll continue to do it. For those of you who understand, thank you very much for your patience and kindness. I very much appreciate the continued support that I'm getting from all of you, and I hope that you're continuing to enjoy this as much as I'm continuing to make it. Drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe, check out my social media, and a link to the latest straw poll with the next poll for the Wizard of Metal showcase is in the description below as well. So take care of all of that for me, be a good dude or dudette, whatever the case may be. And again, I appreciate you for spending some of your free time with me, and I will catch you in another one. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and I will be seeing you.